Welcome, everybody. We are glad to have all of you with us today for National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. This is the week each year that we stop and pay attention to our public safety telecommunicators all across the country, and certainly we do this every year in Murfreesboro for our police fire telecommunications staff. We're glad to have all of you with us this morning and are able to be here. Mayor McFarland is over here and will speak in just a few minutes. Madeline Scales-Harris, one of our council members, is here. I don't think I see any other members of the council here this morning. Mr. Lyons, our city manager, has joined us, and my dear colleague, Fire Chief Cumbie Gaines, who has a constant smile on his face every time I see him now, who has announced his retirement and will be completing his career in fire service, and as our fire chief on August the 12th. Chief, is that right? Congratulations, sir, for many, many years of wonderful service to our citizens, and we're delighted to have you with us today for sure. Every year, as most of you know, we put out an annual report. That happens to be the police annual report. The fire department's got a wonderful one as well that they distribute, and there's some powerful information in that report every year that talks about the work that goes on in our departments and the work that goes on in this Police Fire Communications Center. And I have to repeat these numbers because they are staggering every year, so bear with me for just a minute. For the calendar year of 2014, on the police side, 108,687 calls for service, which averaged just under 300 calls for service a day. On the fire side, I don't have that exact number, but I can tell you what they were for the year previous, and it exceeded 12,000 calls for service on the fire side, which means that just on the call for service basis, these folks are handling somewhere in the neighborhood of 115,000 calls for service a year, which is well over 300 calls a day. Then we talk about 911 calls. This public safety answering point at the 911 level, we call those PSAPs, is the busiest one in Rutherford County. You might suspect that. 40.02% of all of the 911 calls for Rutherford County, Tennessee come into this public safety answering point. 44,111 calls for service, 911 calls for service in 2014. That's 120 911 calls a day. A 911 call about every 12 minutes on an average, but that's just the 911 calls. In addition to that, in this telecommunications center, they answered over 203,000 administrative calls last year. So if you add those together, that's 247,982 calls. That's a telephone call every 2.1 minutes, and you can hear the phone ringing in the background. This is an extremely busy place. I was telling somebody a few moments ago, we had two of our staff members, faculty members from the Industrial and Organizational Psychology Department at MTSU to assist us a few months ago with some selection processes that we were looking at for police fire telecommunications. And those folks spent about 15 minutes in this room, and their takeaway was, this brings the term multitasking to a whole new level. And if you want to talk about multitasking, you should spend just a few minutes in here. This is where public safety call for service and response begins. And the people that work in this room every day and that do the work that they do here are nothing short of outstanding. They do that with a compassionate heart and with a servant's heart, and they make us very, very proud every day. We are honored and very privileged to pause in the middle of National Public Safety Telecommunications Week and recognize them, recognize their service to the citizens of Murfreesboro and beyond Murfreesboro to calls that move over into our county. And we're delighted that all of you can be here with us today to celebrate this occasion. In a moment, we're going to identify our Dispatcher of the Year this year. That will be recognized later this week at our Rutherford County Emergency Communication District annual awards luncheon. But before we get to that, I want to ask my dear friend and colleague, Chief Gaines, to step forward from Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue, and I know he's got some comments for you, Chief. Welcome, sir.
I think it's befitting that we set aside this time to give recognition to people that are often hidden. Most of them I don't know by face. I recognize the voices. And to the citizens of Murfreesboro, They are the voices of comfort, the voice of assurance, the voice of confidence that they will receive the help and the service that they just requested. So for those voices, I say thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Now, I'd like to introduce you to our Dispatcher of the Year for the Murfreesboro Police Fire Communications Center. She is not a stranger. Supervisor Lindsay Callahan is one of two supervisors that works the afternoon shift, which means that she comes on at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, gets off at 10 p.m. at night, and she has Stephanie. Where are you? Stephanie Ayers is back in the back. Stephanie's taking care of her baby in the back, but she and Stephanie supervise the afternoon shift and do a wonderful job. Lindsay has been selected this year as our Dispatcher of the Year for Murfreesboro Police and Fire. Lindsay, congratulations. I think the mayor has a proclamation that he wants to present to you, and then he'll have some comments as well. Mayor, if you'd step up, please, sir, and I'll let you present that to Miss Lindsay.
Lindsay, and I don't know if it means that I'm getting old, but I do recognize that that's Cagney and Lacey right there. So it's my privilege to be able to present this proclamation. And Madeline, if you wouldn't mind coming up and doing this as well, because this is not just from me, this is from the City Council as well. Whereas, when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas, the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Murfreesboro Police and Fire Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators provide a vital link for our police officers and firefighters by providing them information and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Murfreesboro Police and Fire Department have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each telecommunicator has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of his or her duties in the past year. Now, therefore, I, Shane McFarland, Mayor of the City of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim April 15, 2015 to observe National Telecommunicators Week, and ask all citizens join me in expressing our appreciation to the City of Murfreesboro telecommunicators for their hard work and dedication. And really just want to say on behalf of the City Council, you're our front line when people call in and you get people where they need to go with a calm. I hear consistently how you're calm and that you help with the situations. And I think that as our job in Murfreesboro, it's to be able to promote that team atmosphere, and without you, our resources couldn't get to where they need to go. So I'm excited, I'm proud for you, and I'm sure that not only just you're proud of the team that you work with every day. And, you know, being in this area, I'm also excited that, you know, we see the renderings of our new police headquarters, and we see the windows that look out, and I know y'all are excited about that, hopefully coming in the future. So we thank everyone for what you're continuing to do, and appreciate what you do for our community. So thank you.
Mr. Lyons, would you like to step forward and share some comments? Welcome, sir.
Be glad to. Following what the mayor said, we do want to thank our communications folks and the job that they do. They get put in very difficult situations, and they continue to shine and excel. And, you know, the mayor mentioned the new building. As we've begun to look at the floor plans, you know, I really think maybe the best spot in that building is going to be set aside for communications with the windows, with a nice look out over the back of the building there. And we really want to make sure it's designed right for the difficult job you do, and could not be more proud of you, and thank you for what you do.